This definitely feels so much faster than what it's showing. Wow. All right, guys, we are out here and I've got a new brand that I've never heard of. I think it's called Enffe, E-N-F-F-E. Not really sure how to pronounce that, but look at this thing. It is completely radical. We've got bright yellow wheels, bright yellow frame, bright yellow gas tank, with 2 massive batteries and 2 motors. We're gonna see how powerful this particular bike is. All right, guys, this bike, you can pedal it. It does have a cadence sensor, but we're not gonna do that in this review. We're just gonna use the throttle for this entire review. We got 2 batteries, one on this awesome looking gas tank, and then a massive one down below. We'll go over the specs and details of those here in just a minute. But on pedal assist 1, it's gonna get us up to 11.6 miles per hour according to the display. Pedal assist 2 is kicking in the juice. Oh man, this bike's gonna be probably pretty quick. 19 miles an hour for pedal assist 2. I'm kind of afraid to see what pedal assist 5 will do for us. Actually, it rides pretty smooth. Pedal assist 3. Oh yeah, we're cruising. 26 miles an hour. Pedal assist 4. Holy cow, this thing is fast, guys. 29.5. Pedal assist 5. Oh, that was rough on the suspension. Oh, we're almost 32. 31.9 is what I saw. So, nice cruising bike here. Feels good. Feels really upright. Not compact like most eMopeds feel. This one feels pretty big. Turn on our blinker. Take this corner here. Yeah, this thing does pretty good. It's dual motor, so it should have plenty of power. However, we've already dropped a total of 6% in less than a quarter mile. Turn signals, ooh, it's windy. Turn signals do not shut off on their own, but that's okay. We can work with that. But overall, this is a big bike. I am 5'11", and my feet are just barely touching the ground whenever I'm sitting on this. So if you're a shorter rider, just be prepared. This thing sits up kind of like a motorcycle, but with an eMoped frame. I've got to say, I really like this display. It's super easy to see, nice and colorful, really cool shape. But yeah, this is a new bike that I had never heard of, and this brand reached out to me and asked me to review this bike and just look at it. It's a pretty cool looking bike, bright yellow, got the stars and the stripes. This thing can definitely be seen on the road. You do have some Tektro hydraulic brakes, which is cool to see. You've got a 4-piston in the back, a 4-piston up front, but it's a 160 rotor in the back and a 180 rotor up front. So you are getting a pretty interesting combo. They went with pretty beefy calipers, a nice size rotor up front, and then they went with a smaller rotor in the back. I'm not really sure why they went with the smaller rotor, because it does look like they might have been able to fit a bigger rotor back here. But yeah, check it out, guys. You got the dual battery right here. You've got this one that looks like a gas tank, and then you've got this massive one down here, and the dual motors. They say that these motors peak out at around 1,500 watts each. So this thing should be able to climb hills really quick. We just saw it almost hit 32 miles an hour going up the hills. So we're going to get into more details here in just a second, but I want to get on with this review because we are chasing the sun from setting and the wind is starting to pick up. Let's go ahead and test out these Tektro brakes. Let's get up to speed with our brake test in 3, 2, 1, go. Had to make sure my camera was recording there, guys. All right, here we go. And stop. Wow, it actually did pretty good, guys. I mean, I expected this to do decent with the Tektro 4 piston, but I wasn't really sure what to expect with the weight of this bike. It's a beefier eMoped, so it's got a lot of weight behind it, and it's got the 20-inch tires that are off-road. So I wasn't really sure how it would do, but its front wheel fell within the area that I call a good braking bike. Now, with the super off-road tires, I mean, look at these tires, guys. That is some chunk right there. These things are definitely off-road mud-eating tires. I mean, I haven't seen tread like this on any tire that I can think of, except for maybe like the Forever Blue eMoped that I did. But yeah, this bike, it stopped really well. Tektro brakes are just always so good, and they're just super reliable. So I'm really glad to see that even though I haven't heard of this brand, they put on the Tektro brakes. So really good job. Pretty impressed with the braking ability on this. All right, let's go ahead and do the center switch test. Not that you'll probably be pedaling this. You'll probably only pedal it every once in a while when you need to, but we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot. So we'll accelerate and then we'll pedal. Took a solid full rotation. We'll do it again and pedal. About a full rotation on that. So we'll be pedaling and then throttle. And that's instant. That's how it is on every bike. Every bike is like, you go from pedaling to throttle, it's instant. Well, you go from throttle to pedal, it does take just a second. But we're gonna go up here and we're gonna do the 0 to 20 test next. So this bike is knocking out some of the tests here and really giving a good performance. I do actually like the size of this bike. I was thinking that it was gonna be very big, but it actually feels good. Most eMopeds feel a little bit small, but this one, it actually feels really good. All right, guys, we are gonna do the 0 to 20 test here. And we're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna put it into gear and we're gonna start pedaling in 3, 2, 1, go. Gotta let that kick in. Get going. And 20. I am not gonna lie, that was not as fast as I expect a dual motor bike to go. I expect a lot out of dual motor bikes when it comes to speed. I'm pretty sure a lot of single motor 500 watt e-bikes actually just would beat that time. But we'll have to see. You guys have seen the time. I haven't. But yeah, we'll see how it is whenever I get to look at it. But now we're going to do the throttle test, which is where this bike should shine. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go. 0 to 20, throttle test. We're at 10, 15, 20. Guys, look, I got to be honest with you. I really got to be honest with you. This bike should accelerate a lot faster than it is. So much so, I'm going to check something here. I'm just going to lift this thing up on its kickstand and I'm going to hit the throttle. We're only running one motor. Why are we only running one motor, guys? What the heck? Why are we only running one motor? How do you switch motors? Is that okay? Now I'm in dual motor. Okay. Guys, I may have to redo this entire. Okay. All right. All right, guys, we're going to redo a few things here. Now I'm in dual motor mode. I wasn't in dual motor mode. Oh, there's the juice. Oh. Guys, it hit 32 miles an hour in single motor. Dude, okay. All right, I hear you. All right, we're back. We just did single motor. We're going to do dual motor and pedal assist, 0 to 20, and go. Come on, kick in. Oh, there you go. You can feel that thing kick. And 20. That's the juice I was talking about, guys. That's exactly what I was talking about. A dual motor should be able to do. Yes. All right. This thing actually is a rocket now. Wow. We're going to do a full speed test on the way over to the hill here in a second. But let's do the throttle in 3, 2, 1, 0 to 20 throttle. Woo, that front tire really kicks in. And 20. So much better. So much better, guys. So much better. Right there, it shows dual motor. I had no idea. I guess I should have read the manual before I got on it, but I just got so excited to ride this thing and get out here before the sunset. And man, the dual motor, heck yeah. And this thing really has the juice. I can't wait to get this over to the hill. Let's go back and let's look at some of the stuff on this bike in the studio, and then we'll come back out and we'll hit up the big hill. And then whenever we go to the big hill, we're going to do a max speed test again, because I think with dual motor mode, I bet you we hit well over 32 miles an hour. Let's go ahead. Let's not waste any time. Let's see what this bike can do. So let's talk about the motors that come on this bike. These are 48 volt, both front and back, and they both produce 1500 watts of max power according to the manufacturer. I personally think that they ride really, really good. I do wish this would go closer to 35, 36, but we're already breaking the rules when it comes to a class 3, going about 31, so they're probably playing it safe when it comes to that. I really enjoyed the power that I got out of the dual motor. You could feel it really pull. You could feel the difference really, really well. The big thing is that you can switch between the dual motor really fast. So if you don't want that power or you want to conserve on the battery, you can switch back to this rear motor with just a click of the button. And then you can just switch back to dual motor if you want to climb a hill or accelerate really quick and ride that way too. Just being able to push a button and switch between dual and single motor, that's a huge plus for me. So they're claiming that these two batteries, yeah, this one here looks like a gas tank, and then a regular shark fin battery, have about 45 amps of total power. Now I know on this top one up here, it does say 22.5 amp hours or 1080 watt hours. This is a big battery that we've got right here. I really like that it looks like a gas tank. I think it looks awesome on this bike. You do get a couple of sets of keys. So each one is going to have its own key. And then of course, each one is going to have its own charge port. You do only get one charger, and that charger is going to be a 4 amp charger. So it's going to be a little bit faster charger than say this traditional 2 amp. So you can charge these batteries up relatively quickly, but you're talking a 22 amp battery. This is probably going to take you upwards of 4.5 hours easy to charge this battery from complete dead. But I do wish that they would have included 2 of these, and that way you could have charged both batteries at the exact same time, but at least we get a 4 amp charger, so it can be a little bit quicker. You're just going to have to do good battery management whenever it comes to charging them to make sure both of them are charged for your ride the next day. So each battery has a different key. Like this is the top battery key right here, shaped that way, and then this is the bottom battery key. Maybe 2 different manufacturers make these batteries, but there is an on-off switch over here on the far side and a key. Once you turn that key, you should be able to just pop this battery off. There we go. You can pop that off. Okay, let's take a look. It looks like this one is 22.5 amp hours, so 1080 watt hours. These 2 batteries match in the exact same size according to the manufacturer label. And yeah, so that gives you the 45 amp hours that they're claiming. Okay, now let's take a closer look at the cockpit up here. You do get these nice dual lock-on ergonomic grips. I like seeing that they're dual lock-on. Then you do have a little menu button or control panel right over here. You've got a power button. You've got a horn, turn signals right there, your menu button or your dual motor switch, and then you've got your light button or your pedal assist up, your walk button or your pedal assist down. You do have some nice Tektro brakes right here. Really big fan of Tektro brakes, and these do have cutoff switches. So basically the rear tail light will be able to be indicating that you're braking, and also these will cut off the motor. You do have your nice display over here, and we'll go over all the details on this display. It's super bright, which I'm really happy about. Then you do have a Shimano 7-speed shifter, and then next to your shifter, you do have your thumb throttle and then your other ergonomic grip. So taking a look at the front over here, this is a pretty cool looking bike. It kind of reminds me of a chopper, the way that it looks. This has got a dual crown fork up front that has a decent amount of travel. It's not the best suspension, but I think it looks really cool, smooths out the road quite a bit. Not gonna be something that I would wanna take off-roading all that much. But up here, you do get these awesome kind of like ape style, BMX style bars. And I just like the way these look. They also give you a lot of flexibility on tilting them forward and backwards. And then you do have some areas where you could potentially mount some accessories, but most of your bars are taken up by the stuff that's already pre-installed on this bike. So if you're wanting to do a phone holder mount, you'd probably have to mount it over here, or you might be able to mount it over here. You're not going to be able to mount it in the middle right there. But I do like the way these look. I like how it gives you a more upright feel compared to what I see on most standard eMopeds. This higher rise style bar is super comfortable. Now, you are going to get these dual headlights and these turn signals, and you'll notice that these are your running lights. I really like the fact that this has running lights. That makes it a lot safer while you're going down the road. People can see this more, even though this is a bright yellow bike, they can see you more with these running lights. And then if we go to turn on the headlight, they are super bright. We'll take this outside here in a second because I want to see how this looks at night. But man, these things are really bright here in the studio. And let's quickly take a look at what the turn signals look like. So there you go. Got your left and your right. So this is a good look at what the running lights look like here at night. Pretty bright. I mean, if you ran those at night, cars would be able to see you for sure. You have a little bit of light in front of you, actually probably more than what you get out of some regular e-bike headlights. Let's check out the full brightness and the rear light. All right, let's crank on the full bright headlights. Oh yeah. This is the best headlight I have ever seen on a stock e-bike. Normally the headlights are not this bright. This is super impressive. Let's take a closer look at this. That is very, very impressive, guys. I literally have never seen a headlight on an e-bike this bright. Usually you have to buy aftermarket lights. Very, very impressive. You are definitely going to be seen going down the road here. Wow. They did a good job. I wish more bike manufacturers would equip those on their bike. Here's a look at the rear tail light. Super bright also. Very impressed with the lighting on this. Let's turn on one of the turn signals. And there's your front turn signal right there. And your back turn signal is pretty small. I would say probably not useful at all. You're probably going to want a hand signal so the people behind you can actually see it. You can see just a little bit, but to play it safe, I would definitely hand signal. But one thing I want to point out really quick that's awesome about these headlights is they're independently adjusted. So you can have one up high and then you can have one pointed down. So that's really going to give you a lot of choices on how your headlights actually land out on the road. But coming down here a little bit further, the suspension is a dual crown suspension, but like I said, it's not super smooth, a little bit clunky, but it does the job for the road. You do get some plastic fenders right here, but these tires, wow, these tires are cool. I love the way these look. They're beefy, they're chunky, and they would be really good if you ride this on gravel or dirt. They're gonna grip for sure, but they felt really good out on the road too. And check out these rims. I think this is so wild to see this bright yellow rim. Really makes this bike stand out. Gives it that extra pop that I think is gonna really appeal to a lot of people. And then of course your big dual motor right there. And speaking of extra pop, check out this paint job. You've got the stars and stripes all over this thing. This comes in two different colors, a more plain black if you don't want something so flashy, but this awesome yellow just really stands out and screams, check out my bike. And I think that's pretty awesome. I love this area right back here. I just think that this looks really good. The seat looks good on this bike. And then you also do get this rear tail light back here that acts as a brake light. And they did add a license plate holder in case you are required to have a license plate on a bike like this in your area. Now, looking down here, you do have your full suspension back here. Pretty nice, non-adjustable, felt pretty good out on the road. I think the rear suspension felt a little bit better than the front suspension, but that's going to be it right there. You don't get to adjust it at all, but at least you have something to make the ride a little bit smoother. And just looking at the way that this is wired, it looks like your controller is sitting in here. I don't know if both of them are in here or just one. So I don't know how waterproof this bike actually is. I would say it's probably not super waterproof. So you probably want to be careful about taking this out in too much rain. Taking a look at the drivetrain, you do have a nice size front chainring, but let's be honest, who the heck's gonna pedal this bike? This is an eMoped. It's meant to be throttle only. They did put a turny rear derailleur on here. Instead of going super low end, they went with what I would consider a more middle of the road entry level style rear derailleur, which that's nice to see. And then you have your 7-speed cassette back here, your rear motor, and then of course, check it out, that rear wheel, look at it with all of its color and glory. Looks really, really good. Okay, so we know a little bit more about this bike. Let's go ahead, let's get it on the scale and see how much this dual battery, dual motor eMoped actually weighs. And of course, to do this weigh-in, we're gonna use the Feedback Sports Scale and the Feedback Pro E-Lift. All right, let's go ahead, let's get this thing up in the air. Now this scale goes up to 110 pounds. We'll see how much it weighs. Dual motor, dual battery. Whoa, yeah, this sucker is a beast. So there we go, guys. 103 pounds, 13 ounces for this dual motor beast. You can peel out with this sucker now. Oh, it's quick. It's quick with the dual motor. Yeah, and the suspension, the rear suspension feels decent. We are juicing. Dude, this thing was still pulling at 31 miles an hour. Wow, this is fast. This is fast, guys. This is so much faster than what I expected. The sun setting, hopefully my cameras do well. All right, guys, we're on flat ground, dual motor, about 32. It's about as fast as this bike will go. But you can feel the power with the dual motors. It just rips. Wow, it rips. Man, I'm actually really liking the size of this bike. I was really concerned that the size of this bike was not going to be right. I thought it was going to be way too big. But man, it feels really good for my height at 5'11". We're just going to do throttle up this hill because this is an eMoped and I think it's a waste to even pedal. And here we go. 3, 2, 1, full throttle, dual motor. This is a 19% grade and we're on the flat part right now, but it quickly goes up to like 10, 12%. And then when we get to the driveway up here, we'll hit 19%. I saw 26 miles an hour before I got to the hill part, and we're still pulling strong. Man, dual motors, they just rip and rip up hills. And this is where we're gonna get to the 19% where bikes just struggle. But we're staying at 20 miles an hour, 19 miles an hour, 18, 17, 16, 15, going back up to 16, and we're almost to the top of the hill. And to the top. Ooh, it did a good job, guys. It climbed that hill like a champ. This is a quick dual motor bike. Its max speed wasn't quite as high as I had hoped. I was hoping to see like 35 miles an hour, but we did hit 32 a couple of times, but I love the climbing power of a dual motor bike. This bike feels really good because of its size. Wow, it just feels like it's going so much faster. This is one of those instances where I wish I had like a GPS test to see how quick this bike was really going, because it feels like it's going a lot faster than what its GPS, than what its display is actually showing. Very impressed with the speed and the power and feel on this bike. Very impressed with the size and feel of the bike. The suspension is decent. It's not something I would take off-road, even though it's got off-road tires. It's a little bit clunky on the front fork, and the rear suspension can't be adjusted, but it does a decent job overall. But I just love how this bike feels like it's pulling so aggressively. For a dual motor bike, that's great. And the fact that I can switch between dual motor and single motor, that's really good. All right, let's go back and let's look at this display and see what it's all about. I'm telling you, this thing's going 31.9 miles an hour, and it feels a heck of a lot faster than that. I've been 31 on a lot of bikes, and this feels closer to like 38. This feels fast. This definitely feels so much faster than what it's showing. Wow. Definitely getting the looks from all the guys. The ladies aren't looking at it, but the guys that just drove by, they all stared at it. Oh yeah. Yeah, buddy, look at this thing go. Woo! Wow, this thing cruises, guys. All right, let's take a look at this display. I've got it partially powered on because I wanted to show you guys this. First off, the shape of this display I think is pretty cool, super futuristic, and it's actually really bright. A lot of displays these days just aren't super bright, but this one is really bright and you can see it in any light condition. But what I really wanted to show you guys is the fact that this thing has either a password or you can use these NFC keys that come with them. And they're not just flimsy cards, they're actually hard plastic, so they're not going to break real easy. I'm not a fan of NFC keys, but if you're going to make NFC keys, make them really small and make them really durable. So you can either hit the menu button to basically enter in a password, it defaults as all zeros, or you can touch this to the screen and it unlocks. All right, let's take a quick look at the menu right here. I love the way this screen looks. So real quickly, you do have your battery percentage right here. Down here, you're going to have your pedal assist levels. You can scroll all the way through them. In the manual, they call these little lines progress lines. I'm not really sure what that means, but that's what they're calling them. Over here, you do have a power indicator. So as you're riding the bike, you'll see this kind of go up and down. You have your speed right here and this awesome looking like little speed dial. I don't think this does anything, but then you can change this to miles per hour or kilometer. And then down here, you do have your menu information like your trip, your time riding or time powered on, your odometer, and then you've got your power. So you can actually see the watts that are being produced, and then back to your trip. Now up here, whenever you see the 2 tires, that's going to be indicating that you're in dual motor mode. I found this out on the ride, as you guys saw. So if you get the bike and it looks like this, it means you're in single motor mode. And if it looks like that, you're in dual motor mode. In my manual, it says you need to hold down the M button for a long time, but it actually is just a tap. So if you just tap the M button, it'll actually turn it on and off. Now, the other thing is that over here, if you hold down the plus button, you will see your headlight indicator turn on. And then if you squeeze the brakes, you'll see the brake indicator turn on. So if you see this, that just means that your brakes are activated. And then right next to the dual motor light, that would be where your air indicator is. So if you ever have that pop up, like if you have any airs on the bike, you'll see a little check engine light appear right there. So this is the screen. Let's go ahead, let's jump into the menu. It's not a huge menu, but to get into the menu, you do double tap the M button and it'll take you in. So you can see these are going to be traditional P settings that we see on some other bikes. So this is going to be your screen brightness. You're going to have 5. It comes default into the 4 setting. And then if you want to change to a different P setting, you press the plus button. This one's going to be auto shutdown. It comes default at 10, but you can, of course, increase this if you wanted to. And then P3 is going to be whether or not you want to do miles per hour or kilometers. And then P4 is actually kind of cool. It's auto gear shift. So basically, if you don't want to mess with the pedal assist levels, this will do it for you. So if you have it on 0, it's a manual setting, so you have to hit the up and down button for your pedal assist. But if you put it in 1, it'll automatically switch between each one of the pedal assist levels for you. So you don't have to do a lot of thinking on this particular bike if you don't want to. Then if we go to P5, this is going to be your battery mode, and basically this is going to be the voltage stuff. I would not mess with this at all. I don't really know what that's going to really truly do if you change that, but it defaults in at 1. This is going to be your advanced settings. This is not available even if you enter in the password. This FAC is going to be your factory reset. If you mess up the settings, you can go in here and do a factory reset. But the only one that you could really mess up is the battery mode. So I don't think there's really any need for that. And then the next one is going to be your password set. And they say that this feature is not available, but we do have a password, but I wonder if that password's always 0000. And then they just want you to use the NFC key. So that's your display and your menu. Let's go ahead and talk about my final thoughts on this awesome eMoped. So there you go, guys. That's the Enffe ES2D dual motor, dual battery, wild looking eMoped. If you're a taller rider, like somewhere between like 5'9" and up, this bike is gonna fit you probably better than any eMoped out there. If you're a shorter rider, just take note. You are gonna be probably a little bit on your tippy toes. I would say anybody under 5'8" is probably gonna be on their tippy toes. But once you get on the bike, you probably will feel pretty comfortable, to be honest with you. So 45 amp hours of battery power, 3,000 watts of total power with 1,500 watts of peak in each motor, beefy tires, a wild paint job, a cool display, and an easy way to switch between single motor and dual motor. Coming in around 1,300 bucks on Shein right now, with the hopes that they put this out on Amazon. That's a pretty good deal if you're looking for an eMoped with lots of power, a big battery, and something to just have fun on, but not break the bank. I think they did a pretty good job. And if you guys want to get one, I'll put some links down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button, click the like button, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this particular bike. What do you think of these budget-friendly, dual motor, big battery bikes? Is this something that you would want to get for yourself? And if you guys want to help out the channel even more and you want to get early access and some behind the scenes stuff, go check out my Patreon at Mike's Unlocked Garage. All right, guys, as always, get out there and ride your e-bike.